Hello, traders. This is Dave with the Compass Options live trading room. I'm just want to put out a quick video here to go over the Compass system and Dominator system, what I call the Compass system Dominator combo. And this is for what's called the SPY super system. That uses the Compass system and the Dominator system in combination to get the extremely high probability SPY trades or Q trades. You can use them for any of the indexes, and we just wanted to explain that in a quick brief video to go over how it's done and the success we've had with it and how it works. So we'll start with the normal disclaimer. All the signals and trading opportunities we provide, orally, written, or electronically, for educational and demonstration purposes only. And trading, of course, is risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we don't give financial advice. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the two systems. If you're not familiar with the Right Line Compass system or the Right Line Dominator system, just kind of want to give you just a very quick description of what they do, what the purpose of each one of these is, and we'll go over the tremendous success I've had using these. The Compass system is meant to identify stocks that are being moved by institutional buying or selling. And it also identifies stocks that do not have institutional buying or selling, moving them so that they can be avoided. So the Compass system basically is able to display when institutions are in buying or selling a stock or any kind of instrument, and when they're not, so that we can use that information to only trade stocks that are moving with the institutions and skip the ones that are not. In other words, we're staying out of trades that retail traders are not doing most of the trading. The Dominator system is a different system. It actually displays the market internals and produces buy and sell signals when the difference in the number of stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus stocks moving down on down volume and downticks is very large. So in other words, if there's 500 stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus 100 stocks moving down on down volume and downticks, it displays that information on the chart, which I'll show you. And of course, we put a buy signal in if there was that much of a disparity between the stocks moving up and the stocks moving down. So with the two systems, what we're able to do is identify when the institutions are in there buying and when they're not, or selling and when they're not. And the market internals are also moving in either a bullish or a bearish factor, or if they're just neutral. So that way we can tell when the institutions are in there and when the market internals are also in our favor, match the two, and you get tremendous results doing that. So I just want to kind of show you, if you're not familiar with what the Compass system and Dominator systems look like. This is a SPY chart of the Compass system. This is the Compass system on a 5-minute chart, and basically you see a lot of green and different colors and lines and things. But basically, what it's telling you is that in this particular case, we have this is a line that identifies current time frame momentum. This second line up here, just above it, is a line that identifies multi-time frame momentum. And this top line is called a quant, which is looking at other stocks or instruments that are moving in conjunction with that particular instrument 70% of the time or more. And if they do, you get like a green for bullish and a red for bearish. But basically, all you need to see is if you've got all of the lines lined up green here, and you're getting a price action that's moving up. When everything goes green, you're likely to move up. And there's some other things in here. I won't get into a lot of detail, but basically the price action goes up here, and we can follow that price up and make a determination of whether to take the trade or not take the trade. So that's basically just kind of an overview of the Compass system. We have a lot of videos on describing all of the indicators, how they're used, and what they are and how you use them in your trading. This is the Dominator system. This is a separate system that identifies market internals. You don't really even have to have all these red and green lines on the bottom, but these are the indexes and whether there's up volume or down volume and up volume and up ticks. Now, look at that briefly. I'll go over that. But basically, what you're looking at is you're looking here at a background color, which tells you what the multi-time frame direction is, and black case here, it's the SPY is neutral, and as we go to a pinkish color, it becomes bearish. And you can see these sell signals. These are going to show up when the background is pink, for example, in the SPY, which means it's bearish. And we've got a much larger number of stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks than moving up. So then you would get your sell signal, and you get one right here, and you can see you could just follow it down for 3 or 4 candles and do pretty well on that particular trade. So that's just kind of what it looks like on the chart. This is a Ninja 8 chart. The dominator system runs on Ninja 8. Market internals can only be displayed on the Ninja. The company that produces it, called Kinetic, does not allow those to go anywhere else except to institutions or to the Ninja 8 platform. So we run it on the Ninja 8 platform, of course. Okay, so and this is another one of the dominator charts. This again is the Ninja 8 platform on a 5-minute. This is the SPY, and you can see the neutral here is the black background. We go to this bluish or light green. This is slightly bullish, and this is very bullish. And you can see the amount of green down here, which is lots and lots of up volume and upticks, swamping the down volume and down ticks. And you can see you could basically get in on any of these arrows. Best not to chase, of course, but any kind of a pullback like this, or a move back to this this 15 EMA right here, that's what this line is, would cause it to go up. So anyway, that's the structure of this. That's another one there. That's one on Netflix. We can use them on stocks as well. But this video is specifically directed for anybody who likes to trade the SPYs or the Qs or the IWM, and which means you can do it on SPY or Qs puts and calls, or you can use futures. Okay, so here's the dominator market internals. Just want to what it's looking at, and it's looking at 5 market internals. It's looking at the Dow, the New York Stock Exchange, the Qs, the triple Qs, the SPY, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. And it's looking across, it's calculating on all of those indexes, each index individually, and then on all of those indexes together. And it's going to measure the number of stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus the number of stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks. It doesn't look at the price. It's just looking at the total number of stocks moving up and on up volume and upticks and up and down volume and down ticks. When there is a significant disparity in the stocks moving up versus the stocks moving down, it's going to generate a buy or sell signal for that stock or index if the multi-time frame trend aligns with that. So in other words, we're only going to be buying the SPY on the upside to the bullish side if the multi-time frame trend for the SPY is also to the upside. So we're trading in the direction of the trend. It forces us to trade in the direction of the trend. And we don't want, I don't like to do any kind of counter trend trading. So once that signal has been set up there, then you can either do a buy or a sell. Now, we're going to trade the stocks, as I said, in the direction that matches the multi-time frame trend. So if you've got a green background on the Ninja chart, bullish, and you've got a buy signal, bullish, then that gives you the indication that you've got a potential trade here. And again, the market internals on these charts will always be the same, no matter what stock you look at, because the internals are across the entire market. So the only thing that would change on a stock would be the background color, indicating what the multi-time frame trend is for that stock. Okay, so we look for the alignment of the compass and dominator system here. So the highest probability SPY trades will have a compass and dominator alignment. So when the dominator system is giving us basically a multi-time frame trend, for example, bullish, and we have a buy signal, which means the market internals are very bullish, a lot more trade stocks going up and going down on volume and ticks, then that would be the setup that we're looking for. So that would come off of our dominator system. So the compass indicators now also need to match the trade. So if you have a bullish setup on the dominator with a buy signal and a green background, then you want the compass system to also have a green background, or the green lines. You want it to have the bullish setup, and I'll show you some charts exactly how these align. So and again, the super SPY trade will be in the direction of the current SPY trend, and we try to enter near a support level for bullish and a resistance level for bearish. I'll show you some of those exact trades here in a minute, just so you understand. We're basically using both of the systems together. When they both align, then we have a potential trade. And again, once the SPY trade is initiated, you can stay in the trade as long as the buy signals continue, or you reach your profit target. In choppy markets, a lot of times it's best to take the profits pretty early. And you can also stay in until the compass indicators show a weakening of momentum. When the momentum is starting to fade, then you can take profits. You also have to take the market into consideration. So typically on choppy trendless days, profit target should be more passive and trade size should be less aggressive. Obviously on trending days, profit targets and trade size can be much more aggressive. And again, it's important to enter these super SPY trades as close to support or resistance as possible. And just a caveat here: always be aware of any support or resistance levels on the SPY, so you're not getting into a trade when it's ready to run into a strong resistance level. So here's a compass dominated combo. So basically, you've got bullish and bearish. Obviously, the dominated background is green, and you have a dominated buy signal. You've got a bullish setup on the dominated system. It's bearish when the dominated background is red and the dominator has a sell signal. Pretty easy to understand, actually. There's a lot of calculations going into this, but that's the basis of it. Obviously, it's possible to take a larger trade size and stay in the trades longer when you have the dominator aligned with the compass system. And the best entries for trades when the dominator aligns, and we'll go over some of these things, basically bounces off an EMA, whatever EMA you're using. I use the 15 EMA of an EMA, which we have on the compass system. Bounce off the VWAP, for example, bounce off of a pivot line that we have, and also break out a dynamic compression zone, which is a system generated zone on the compass system that's on the compass system and nowhere else. But it's a very, very good level to trade from. And again, entering and exiting the compass dominated as highest probability trades. When you have a compass dominated high probability trade setup, enter the trade near support for bullish and near resistance for bearish. And I keep emphasizing this. You want to find the best entry levels that you can. Be aware of the major support and resistance levels that may limit the profit potential. And again, exiting if the price closes below support on a bullish trade or above resistance for a bearish trade. That's fairly standard. Profit target should take the overall market trend for the day into consideration. Obviously, trending days allows for more time and look for larger profits, and you can scale in and scale out. Choppy markets, typically you need to take profits more quickly. So that kind of covers that, the information in this. This is, again, the potential profitability exits. Again, if the market internals reverse and produce signals in the opposite direction, obviously you want to be out. If your dominated system goes from a buy signal to a sell signal, you don't want to be in there. If you hit a predetermined profit target, on choppy days, that's usually what I do. You are in profits and the stock loses momentum, or the SPY background in the Ninja platform changes to neutral. So if you had a green background and it goes to a black background, time to consider taking profits. Obviously, the multi-time frame trend has changed from bullish to neutral. All right, so I'm going to show a couple of trades that we took on the SPY. This was pretty recently, and what you're looking at here is the SPY. I think this was on the 10th to the 11th. But here's all your green down here. We had a lot of internals that were green. This is where the first buy signal hit right here. First buy signal gave us a buy signal on the SPY, and you can see that and we actually took this trade. Again, it came right off this 15 EMA, which was a very good level to get in, and the buy signals just continued all the way up, all the way up. And again, when we get up into a level like this, you notice this was actually at the end of the day. So we stayed in this trade from about 2:45 to about 4 o'clock right here. This is where it ended. This actually starts the next day, as the market internals are only generated from 9:30 to 4 when the market's open. So that was a good trade. So this is a setup that we saw on the dominated system. Now let's take a look at the compass system at the same time. So let's look back here. This was about 2:45. So we look back here about 2:45. Here at 2:45, this is 2:45 right here. You notice that all of the compass indicators went green here. All of our quants are a momentum for the multi-time frame, a momentum for the current time frame. So it's pretty easy to see. You don't really even have to know what's going on. You can see all this green, and you can see that there's this thin green line here is the 15 EMA, and the compass system puts in what's called pop out of the box signals, which are these in this case these pink arrows. That's telling you that you're coming out of a compression. So you're coming out of a compression with all green here, all green on the dominator system. You get in here and you just ride this trade, which we did, again, right to the end of the day. And on the SPY, that's a really nice trade. It brings in some really good profits if you were trading the ES, for example. As future is the same thing. And now this is another trade that we had. This is on the dominator system here. We can see it goes from a black background to a lightish green, a kind of bluish background. But we started getting buy signals here as soon as the indexes, as soon as the internals started to tell us that we had a lot more stocks moving up and moving down. And be aware, by the way, on the lines in the bottom here that I have. You don't have to have these on your chart, but it tells you. You can see you've got some red on here, but it's telling you here that just because you've got a couple of the indexes that are having some bearish, some selling, you've got a lot more buying going on overall in the markets, and that's when these buy signals are generated. So again, you could try to get into this early, ride it across here. We still get buy signals, but then we've got some nice buy signals here again, and again, all the way up that you could stay in this trade. And likely I would have been out right here as we started to lose a little bit of momentum, but again, it pulled up and moved up again. Now you notice this arrow here on this dark green is pretty far away from the 15. So that's why you need to look to the compass system to take a look at another potential trading area. So let's switch over here to go down here. Here's the SPY on the same day. Now you see right here is where everything went green at 145, which was basically approximately where we get the full green background on the dominator system. But you notice how close we are here to the 15 and to the trend dots, and we're above the VWAP, which is good. So this was a good entry spot here, but I wouldn't have taken it here because we've got yellow on this multi-time frame of the gear. So as soon as it goes green, this is where I would enter the trade, right here, right off this 15 EMA with this green dot right here, which is telling us that the momentum is at the max buying at this 5-minute level. And so you can see this, it moves up nicely. Of course, you could have got out right here, but again, the buy signal stayed on the dominator system, so you could have continued in this because it didn't break below your 15 EMA, this little green line, and then up it goes toward the close of the day. I don't have the whole chart here, but it kept on moving up. So again, that was the compass system. As you can see, this was the pullback we talked about, and then it moved back up to the end of the day. But you can really stay in it as long as the buy signal's in there, especially on a trending day. And again, there is the SPY for that. And here's another one here. Again, this is SPY on the 5-minute. You can see this was in the afternoon. I think this was actually the day of might have been the day of the speech by Jay Powell. So you can see we get a buy signal right here, and you notice everything goes from red to green. So you can jump in here or jump in right here, and you've got a tremendous move up to the upside. A little bit of retailers here trying to reverse the trend, but the institutions were still in there, and they drove this thing all the way up. And this was a tremendous trade on the SPY. And here's the compass system indicating the same thing. You notice that they had we get in right here. I think he was peaking at 130, so it was right about here, about 145 when it started to take off. And again, nice entry right here, all green right here. So you can get in right here and enter right here and get up, ride it up. And this little yellow line here is a standard deviation line. Stock goes up and kind of slides along there. But again, remember on the dominator system, we had all green. We did get some yellow here, so you could take profits right here if you wanted to. Although the dominator was still telling us that there was a propensity of a much larger amount of stocks going up than going down. And then right in, again, you could get in right here. Here's a pop out of the box signal. This shaded area right here, that little shaded area, that's the dynamic compression zone I had mentioned that the compass system produces. Beautiful entry right there. We go back to all green again, and you get in and ride it up. So between the compass system and the dominator system, you're getting really spectacular extremely high probability trade setups to take. And that's 2 or 3 examples of that. Again, here's a bearish one on the dominator system. Again, you can see how nice this is with your pinkish background and your sell signals, and you can get in here. You probably wouldn't get in on this candle. This is the first sell signal, and you'd unlikely be able to catch that. But as it moves sideways and still with red sell signals, you wait for this compression to end and jump in right here and just ride this thing down to wherever you feel comfortable. I would have taken profits right down here probably, but it moved up and then kept moving down. So you can see how tremendously effective this is in picking up these market internals, and how those help so much to tell you which direction to trade and when to get in and when to get out of these trades. Again, here's the SPY on that same chart, and you see it right here. See where the signal started coming out was about 12:45, 1 o'clock, and here's 1 o'clock right here. We're getting this. That's the red arrow we had over there. You notice that we go to all red here on the compass system right here. Good place to get in if you wanted to. You still get yellow is also bearish. So any red or yellow is going to be bearish. So you could have got right in here, or you could have waited for this compression to break with this pop out of the box signal right here to the downside and get in and just ride the SPY down right like that. And I would have get out here most likely. And again, you notice you're getting some blue and green starting to show up here, which tells you to get out of the trade, even though the dominator system again was showing sell signals at this point, but the compass system doesn't align with it right through here. But right back here, it aligns with it again. You go back to yellow, here's another pop out of the box signal, another buy right there to buy some SPY puts, for example, which is what I was using, SPY puts and SPY calls. Okay, so this is just kind of the overview of the SPY super system that I've been testing. I've been testing it from the 6th of October through 25th of November. And again, I only took the very highest probability trade setups. Small size, I was just using 1 contract because I wanted to, I didn't do scaling in and scaling out. I wanted to test the strategy of using the compass system and the dominator system together. And I do this inside the trading room I've got as well. When we have a setup in there, we call that out in the trading room for the members to use. But we did a total of 62 trades, all day trades, of course. I don't typically take, I generally don't take SPY overnight sometimes, but these were all day trades. They were meant to be short-term trades. So out of the 62, we had 57 winning trades, 4 losing trades, and 1 scratch. That's a 92% win rate, which is about what we've been able to actually maintain. Even I've continued to do it, and it's still around 92%, 92.5%, I think, a win rate. And the profit factor was 28.69. If you're familiar with the profit factor, that's an astronomical profit factor on these trades. The losses were really pretty small because we perhaps get in when we got the signals, and then all of a sudden they reversed on the 1 or 2 candles later, and we just get out. We only had 4 losing trades. So anyway, 92% win rate, profit factor 28.69 on this particular setup. And if you've got the compass system and the dominator system, extremely easy to follow. And again, I call these out in my room, and I think there'll be a link at the end of this if you'd like to take a trial in the room for a couple of weeks to see how we go over these things and get more detail on the compass system and the dominator system. And again, this is just a P&L from my Trader View program that I have, where basically I put in all the trades that were the compass system, dominator system, or the SPY super system from October 6th. You can see it started the 6th and went through this chart only goes through the 10th, I think, but the 25th is kept on going up. And this was just in 1 contract. So, I wasn't interested in, I wasn't concerned about the actual amount of money I was making. What I was much more concerned about was how this trade was working, win percentage wise and profit and loss wise. And again, 1 contract, about $4,500 or something like that. But one contract, that's pretty spectacular. Again, if you traded 5 SPY contracts at a time, that would have been $20,000 in that period of time. This was up through 11:10, and I had printed this out before I actually imported the rest of the trades. So that is the the Compass Dominator Super Spy System, or the Spy Super System. If you'd like to take a look at it, or go into my room and try it out, just there'll be a link at the bottom of this. You can just go in and take a look at that, and we can give you a lot more information on the Compass system and the Dominator system as well. I didn't go into a lot of detail on the indicators on each one of those, just the overall system usage of this system. But it's extremely impressive. It's probably the best system I've ever worked with. I've been trading 13 years professionally, and this was extremely professional. So it's extremely effective and a great win rate, and pretty easy to use actually. The information is extremely complex that's being calculated because we're looking at whether we're having institutional trading or not, and whether we have market internals in our favor or not. So there's a lot of calculations going on in the software, but the results are spectacular, and it's very easy for even a new trader to understand whether you should buy it or not, buy or sell, just because of the way the color scheme is set up on the charts to make it easy to read. So that's the Spy Super System. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and I hope to see you in the trading room soon.